Hey friends! Welcome to the Drug Prevention Power Hour, where we empower leaders in youth drug prevention. After creating a student-led movement hosting epic drug-free events across the nation, your host, Jake White, dedicated himself to making the prevention field more fun, impactful, and relevant for today's youth. So if you're in education, counseling, public health, prevention, or just a caring adult looking for strategies to protect your kids, we hope you subscribe and learn from every show. Coming to you from Jake White and his team at Vive 18, enjoy this episode of the Drug Prevention Power Hour.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Drug Prevention Power Hour. I'm your host, Jake White with Vive 18, and today we are hanging out with a new friend, Ebony Manning. And now, Ebony is a prevention specialist for Trinity Behavioral Care out in South Carolina. So, Ebony, thanks for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Of course.
Looking forward to, the experience. I met you at the conference, the Vive conference, and the training. It was awesome. I love how you kept us involved, and it gives you more ideas. So I'm just like, I like this. I like this vibe. So I want to be a part of it in any way I can. So I'm glad to be here.
I love to hear that. And you know what? We being asked to train at these statewide prevention meetings and stuff like that is kind of new for us in the last year or two. Mm-hmm. So far we've done Texas, Vermont, and now y'all in South Carolina. And I got to tell you, being in that room with everyone, I had so much fun with you. You have a good group there.
Prevention, it was like we all have the same energy, the same vibe. So it was refreshing.
Yeah, absolutely. For me too. I'm like, I kind of want to move to South Carolina now.
That means you got to come back and see us at least once a year.
Yeah, absolutely. I will talk to Michelle about it.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Well, Ebony, please tell us a little bit more about you. What town you're from, what you do at work, just the basic intro. And if you're comfortable, a couple little tidbits about what family or fun or any of those things too.
Okay. So I was raised in Dillon, South Carolina. I got married at a young age, moved to the Air Force and traveled the world. And then I come back and it's like, what am I going to do? And, it's one of those things to where it's definitely different. It's a small rural area. Things are not up to date and resources was, kind of scarce. And there's no way. I'm going to go. And then God is like, no, I can use you here. And I'm like, how in the world? So it started from there. But what I would take from it that when I did move away and experience so many different places, that there's always some type of way to serve. And in the military, as the spouse and with the child, you're looking to try to figure out what to do, what the resources are, and things of that nature. And I think the Air Force did really good. Most of them do really good in the community to where you have so many resources available. And so I took that and I ran with it. So I was like, nobody was able to do it for me, but any spouses and kids were coming in, I was the one that meet them and like, hey, got this, and this. And so I enjoy what I do because, it helps you feel a little bit more comfortable every time you move and every time you settle that, you'll have easy access or having somebody there to answer those questions. So when I finally left, I was stationed in Oklahoma City, and as the spouses and, even for workout, we came up with an ideal, hey, how about we volunteer hours to watch the babies and then you go work out and then you sign yourself in, and we got one of the commanders on board with it. So there was other ways because, it is important mentally as well when you have all of this stuff going on around you. So I say that to say right before I left, they had a ceremony at the Readiness Center. And come to find out, they coined me. And they coined me and said, self before service, service before self. And I was like, what? And all I'm thinking is, I'm just doing what's in my heart, So I keep the coin with me here and there just as a reminder because, it's natural to me. The compassion is natural. And then when I came here, I got to figure out how can I apply this knowledge that I know in the area that I am. And Lord behold, I was looking for jobs, and I remember I was like, go back one more time, and he's going to let me know which one to apply for. And I applied for Trinity. August will be 2 years. And we started the podcast my first year on the actual day that I got hired, August the 12th. And it's been amazing. It's been an amazing journey. I love the kids. I've been to schools, at health fairs, and Marlboro County is the county that I work in because we have 3 facilities in Dillon and Marion, but Marlboro County, yes, it was more than 15 miles from where I grew up from. But when I tell you, I went in there, boots on the ground. I showed up. I was here. I was there. And now when they see me, hey, Trinity. Hey, Miss Trinity. So
They call you Miss Trinity?
Miss
That's
Trinity,
so funny.
Miss Ebony. So I think window coming, right? So I think that says a lot, and that's what makes me happy, and that's what's fun to me. Being able to be that person that they know if they call her, she's going to find out. She don't know, she's going to find out. And it's just another ministry that we're out here serving God's people, and we're going in places to where people don't want to go in or have these conversations. So between planning events, like we're going back to school and trying to, you don't want to just, leave this county, this county, this county. We're all in this together, and that's my thing. Really, this year is pushing unity. There shouldn't be no separation. This is unity, and we need to be, able to be selfless, and sacrifice your time to give back. So I love it. I enjoy it. And I'm always coming up with ideas. It's like, you always got something going on. I'm very creative, and it's a passion. I say my job is not a job to me. It's a vacation because I'm relaxed. I'm comfortable in what I'm doing, and I can see where I'm going. So,
that is exciting.
Yes.
Ebony, I'm so glad that we have you in the prevention field and that the last 2 years have been so fulfilling for you. Because I think the excitement that I'm get just from being across the screen from you is probably only a fraction of the excitement that these students get when they get to hang out with you. They see a confident, amazing woman who's doing incredible things, and they're like, I can be like Ebony one day, or Miss Trinity. You can't skip that relationship side. And like any leader will discover is that you bring someone in for character first. So congratulations to your team that they got you on board, because you can't teach what you have right now, the character, the excitement, and you're learning the rest as you go with this prevention thing,
Yes. I mean, because it's one of those, this is a job that you have to stay on your feet. I mean, you have to stay attentive. It's like being open, being open to just show up. If there's an invite or things that you don't know, I think they say in the prevention world, I heard it a couple of times to where if you're in the office, you're not working, because, we need to be in the community, right? If we're not hosting anything or participating in things. And it's the truth. Honestly, it is the truth. If you're in the office too much, basically, it's like, who are you reaching?
Yep.
Or did I learn something new today? Or no, and they always tell me, it's like, because I see it as, you know what I'm saying? And maybe this resource doesn't make sense to me, but that doesn't mean I shouldn't share it, or I should promote it in our facility, or I should post it on our page. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, let's bridge these gaps, man. Let's be a resource to everybody, because knowledge is power. And sometimes I feel like there's a lack of knowledge, or people not wanting to ask questions about resources. So I'm that one that just walk right up so I can sense them, I can see them coming. I'm like, okay, I pray every morning before I leave out, and I say, God, move Ebony out the way so that you can have the glory. So that's my
amen.
So
that's cool.
I think the future is going to be bright. I'm expecting all kinds of things to go on. So,
amen. That's refreshing. That's so good. I am reading. I just finished a book. It's actually one of the same books that I read before I started Vive 18, and it's this biography of this guy called Blake Mycoskie, and he started the Tom's Shoes Company, which back then no one was doing a model of like you sell a product and then you give away a product for free. And so he was like testing it, and everyone said he wouldn't work. But this story is he had a very small team, people who are excited. They're like, and more importantly too, like you said, is they're boots on the ground. They're out giving away the shoes. They're out developing the product, talking with people. And they knew a little bit of everything. Yeah. And as I listen to all these stories of people who make a difference, I mean, hey, since we're talking to Jesus himself, like he wasn't like, hey, go do ministry. And then he was sitting in the background. He's like, no, I'm there having dinner at the campfires, all the spots. But there's a cool example of this company that produced one of the fastest jets in the world. And they did it at a quarter of the price. And when they asked how he did it, it very much went back to the people who are designing the plane. They get in the plane. If you make a mistake, you're seeing it firsthand. Like they had to be cross trained in everything. And I think that's so cool for prevention, no matter where your career shifts or how maybe you have a gift of speaking to young people and reaching young people. And then as you get older, maybe you change that or you start getting into advancement or fundraising, but never leave that zest for being there with everybody, because it's going to keep you relevant, right?
Yes, most definitely. And it's so important to invest in our future, which is our young people. I have this joke going around like, I'm going to deal with the adults. That's the adult daycare. Let me just get with the kids, because at least they're going to be real, they're going to be transparent, and they're going to be who they are. And you can expect that from a young person. So I'm just like, I really feel that if we give them the platform, they will flourish. And
yeah,
we're in the rural communities, and this is all you see. This is all you know. So a lot of them, they're not thinking outside of the box. So here I am. I'm working. I'm thinking. I'm jotting notes down. That hey, I feel like I'm finding a way to bring it to them. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just different resources, different employment, schools, colleges, or activities, but it's going to take a unity. It's going to take the village. It's going to take the community and resources to make these things happen. And I'm just like, it's going to work. It's going to take time. But it's going to work. It's going to work. And so I just, I thank God every day. I have 2 girls. My oldest is 24. She graduated at A&T. She has a bachelor's in nursing, so she's working in the hospital.
Awesome.
His daughter is 16. She'll be 17 in September, going to be a junior. And, they know their mom. Sometimes they get jealous as everybody else getting the attention of their mom. But they truly hey, Mom, this job is really for you. This is you. Because without the job, I was still doing the same things in the community. Even in our church home, fellowship churches, that's in me, that's who I am. And it's all about, being empowerment and being encouraging, because you just never know what somebody's going through. A hug or a smile, or hey, how you doing, or a compliment. And so they're used to that, they're used to that mindset, and it makes them strong and courageous and bold in a day-to-day life. So, but for them to say, this is just for you, Mom, that God got the right job, he put you right where you wanted to be. And I said, exactly, he did. I said, I think it's amazing. And then I think within a month I started working at Trinity, and I was doing some research and reading some information, and the word Trinity stood out to me. And I was like, what's the Holy Ghost?
Hey.
He's in this. That was just another confirmation that, he's in this. And I'll be 45 in November this year. And it's like understanding purpose.
Yeah.
It's
locked in.
Yeah.
Locked in.
Exactly.
That's so cool. Well,
not realizing that experience that you went through, that's why I gave this experience. Didn't realize that it's still a part of my life today. No titles, no names. It wasn't a job. It was me being who I am. And my motto is to treat people the way you want to be treated. And always pay it forward. So it's like the journey of my life. It still applies to now. Sometimes it don't always make sense, but I'm like, this is purpose. This is purpose, and I'm.
That's so good. Ebony, I want to hear more about maybe some of the projects and initiatives that you've been a part of over the last 2 years. Tell us about something that you're proud of and that you've been able to do in your community through Trinity. Yeah, I would love to hear some examples.
Okay, that's quite a few things. Okay, so recently I was able to meet with the superintendent of our county, and by me going and doing evidence-based programs in alternative school, middle schools, for the boys' camp, and I always make the environment feel as a safe place because I want to hear what they have to say. And it came to a point to where the kids was getting suspended for vaping. So you're suspended for vaping. But what is that helping? What is that solving? So basically, long story short, I asked the sheriff from Marlborough County. We had a task force, to reach out, a school representative to reach out from one of the schools, and we had a meeting. And I brought all my Trinity brochures. I had some games. I had material. I had everything, right? And the program I was promoting was Too Good for Drugs. And I laid it out, let them know. And I said, here's my thing. How about, can we make Too Good for Drugs a part of a consequence? Because if you're sending them home, we're not doing anything. And we got to stop taking the easy way out. We have to teach them at least to addiction. That's where it first starts at. Not saying that, we already know the backstories or their backgrounds could be some things that trigger things too. But we have to start somewhere. And so I pitched it. It was all right. It was ready for it. So we're thinking we're going to start in August. And I started in April. I did 10 lessons and I was there two days a week, and they have this program called Freshman Seminar to it's all ninth graders. And so I was using that hour to teach them. I had over about 45 for about 6 to 8 weeks, and to teach the program and to get them involved and get the school involved because it wasn't there. So
that's great.
The CTC surveys, we realized they hadn't did it in 2 years. Hey, we need this back in the schools. This helps us know what we need to do and where we are. So that was definitely a big accomplishment. But I don't think it wouldn't have happened if I wasn't boots on the ground, if I wasn't showing up, if I wasn't presenting what we have to offer. That makes a difference because people, they're going to look at you and they're paying attention to what you got. Like with the alternative school, he was like, "Are you going to be teaching it?" I said, "Yes, sir." Come on, because he already he's familiar. He knows that I believe in what I'm doing, and so I have the relationships and to be able to have the trust of the community to have these conversations. Also, I think, of course, the podcast, I didn't see that coming at all. Honestly, I really didn't. And they chose me for it. So it was the first time the company had started a podcast and they chose me to host it. And it's like, y'all see who I am. You see, I see something in me, and the fact that you trusted me, that means a lot. That means a lot. Because, auto recovery, and that's why we chose the name, be my right hand tie, and it was because art describes different shapes, sizes, colors, and it's about our background, what we know. Recovery looks different to you than it was different to me and everybody's experiences. So I get to interview people, their personal stories, or just the fact, hey, what are you doing in the community? What do you respect? What are you doing? Like, I just had a cool episode with the band director for the middle school, and they keep winning. They keep winning. They're very good, and I'm like, hey, what is going on? I mean, this is something positive. How can I help?
That's cool.
And this partnership. And so recently they just won again. I think he announced it a week ago, and I'm like, I'm coming back. Okay, that's what I'm going to do, because it's giving them, it's celebrating them. It's celebrating who they are.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about that, and we look into a youth session. We had a couple. That was one of my favorite podcasts because it was just an open conversation and let them go. Give them an opportunity to share. And, we went from there, and it enlightened us and encouraging. They're just like, we're going to be on YouTube. We're going to, they were buy it, but it's like, why not you? Why not?
Yeah. What a positive experience for them to be able to be featured and centered and use their voice. Like, I mean, that's what's so cool is that is prevention.
Yes.
That experience. I actually, Ebony, if you don't mind me asking, I want to ask you a couple questions that I think are really important from your experiences you shared so far. Mm-hmm. So the first one about, your rollout of Too Good for Drugs with the district or with these schools, and the second one about the podcast. So first, do you remember how you got the meeting with the superintendent? Like, what was said? Were you part of that, or did someone get the meeting and there was a connection that happens to make that?
I was all on it. I was all in the middle. So how that happened, we have created a task force, task force, and it's community efforts for overdoses. And so I have somebody from each agency in the county come to the table. And again, I was already in the schools the last year, so I'm paying attention to what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing. So in that question, in that meeting, I wanted to hear what this person from the school district was saying, the principal was saying, the local law enforcement, what they're saying. And then I said, okay, I have a plan. This is what we can do. And sure enough, when you got the sheriff on your team, he just called him up. he said he served on the school board for many years. So he's familiar with everybody. So he made the call and then he reached out. And
Okay.
he was pretty cool. And he said, we're about to have you working. I say, that's what I'm here for.
Hey. Well, okay, so that's really helpful to know that in the meeting, you asked them questions to acknowledge the need, and then you showed how you could fulfill that need. And again, you had built the trust for them to say, great, yes, I trust you to do that. You're credible. You've been doing this. I can see it. I can connect the dots. But actually, how did you get them to say yes to an appointment with you? Do you remember? Do you remember that?
Yes, but again, I think I put it all together. But I think it matters the resources you have. The resource of the sheriff, he's already have a So you have to use these people that are in positions that already have resources and contacts to make this happen. That's how I work. I think that, the principal, the teacher, the sheriff, the chief, they've been there in that community for many years. So they know what they know and they know who is who. So I always say, hey,
Yeah. That's so good. Yeah. Yeah.
Even with the coroner, we partner with the coroner. He's really good when it comes to opioid overdoses and the numbers and the data. Like I did the footwork. We're doing go take back. He comes out and show up. You do little things. It's like leaving breadcrumbs because in the you need a whole loaf.
Yes. That's so good. Ebony, I don't know. I want to point this out for our listeners because a lot of people will ask, how do you get key stakeholders in the community to care about prevention? So you showed, hey, the sheriff cares about this. I want you to come meet with us. And then what's so nice is the sheriff validates all the work that you're doing already. The people you've worked with get to, quote, sell you or sell them on prevention instead of you having to do all the heavy lifting. And that's really, really smart. That's really smart networking. That's smart business development. So everybody take notes. Ask yourself, who do I already know that's connected with that other person? And then when you get them in the room, you don't have to jump all the way to the superintendent. Maybe it's somebody else that comes first and it starts this domino.
Yeah.
So I just appreciate that you did that. And that you're that type of person. You're like, I'm not going to back down. I'm going to ask for who I want in the room.
Exactly. And some people take it as she just thinks she knows what she's doing. But it's like in this field, you have to be bold. And you have to, be confident in what you're trying to achieve. Because, it's like nobody can tell me different right now until it can't happen until you try it, basically. So I'm just, if it's something I really believe, then I did my research on, pay attention for a little bit, and then you make a move. But there are people still in our community that cares.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you see that we're just working, they're just working. It's just another paycheck for them. And, I don't like that. But, we have that has that mindset. So we just have to choose to show them what it's really about, And they're still thinking about it. Sometimes your action speaks louder than words. And so that's the way I go for it.
That's cool. Ebony, I think we can title this episode Being a Passionate Prevention Networker. And you're a great example of that through everything. And honestly, I'm looking back at your story too, as you moved a lot being in the military. And you probably had to become this person that could reintegrate into a new community, make friends, which is a skill, just like anybody else. For anybody thinking like, well, I'm not that type of person. Maybe it's just you haven't practiced yet, and you can get good at it. Absolutely. And so, Ebony, because I want to maximize this time with you, we got a couple minutes left. Your podcast is called The Art of Recovery.
Yes.
And for anybody who's like, hey, you know what? I've thought about starting a podcast, but maybe they didn't because they're nervous or they don't know how. What encouragement or tips would you give them quickly to have them get started?
Do it. Because the thing is, you don't know what to expect if you don't try it. When it comes to the cameras, most of the times you already have everything you need. Even when it comes to phones now, if you need to do something right away, you can. But you can get your pieces. We're here if you have any questions. Together, working together for these questions, finding the software that you want to use, but you don't have to do it alone. Don't have to be alone, and don't be fearful. We learn as we go. Trust me.
Yes.
You get cups here and there, but you keep moving. You keep moving forward. And I just think that when you're doing it, don't have everybody all involved.
Yeah. Not every project needs to be the all hands on deck project.
Yeah, just because you know what you're feeling, you know what you want to do, and that's what you want to do. It's okay to do it your way. We don't always do things the same way, and it's okay. As long as we're getting that message across, and as long as that we're showing up and being there. So I say, just do it. Just do it, and I'm here.
That's cool. I love it. I remember when we started, I also had some excuses about why I couldn't and what I have to do it every week or something. It's like, get rid of all those expectations you just put on yourself and just start. Because in the beginning, it's like, well, you have a laptop and you have maybe a Zoom subscription. Start there, upload it to YouTube or upload it to Buzzsprout is one that we use where you upload it and it sends it to all the registries. And now we use a platform called Riverside, which it's fancy, but it's very cheap. I think it's like $25 a month and it has the editor all inside. But you don't have to start with all that knowledge. Like, I started my business by Googling how to start a business. Like, you got to start somewhere. I like what you said. Just do it.
Just do it. Because you learn from it. You never know how much a big of an impact it can mean. Because when we started off the screen, we go off the lighting, the green screen, and then it's like now, if I have an idea, this person is available, we're at this place, hey, let's do it right here. It's more it's more transparent because I don't like a script. I don't want script. People are looking for right now word, or right now encouragement, or right now resource. How can you help me right now? So you have to be willing to just breathe, be available, be accessible, and give our community what they're looking for. So it's just like, it's no wrong way to be a resource or community outreach. Nike check, just do it.
I love that. That is the perfect ending, I think. Ebony, if people want to get in touch with you and follow everything you're doing in prevention in South Carolina, do you have a handle or anything that you like to give people, or a website?
The Auto Recovery, trinitybehaviorcare.org. And again, I'm in the Marlboro County location, but they all know who I am. We have one in Dillon and in Marion. So feel free to reach out. Norcan is always available. You can just walk in for a box. You can get it. Whatever resources you need, just walk in. If we don't know, we will be able to assist you. So together, we can choose a better life is our slogan. So
that's perfect. Yes. And for everyone listening, thank you for being in the prevention field. You are making a difference. If you need anything, reach out to Ebony, reach out to myself. We are always better together. And I just love this episode so much. So if you think someone else would be encouraged by this episode, go ahead and share it with them to say, hey, happy day. I'm thinking about you. I just want to send this your way, and stay in touch. And of course, this has been another episode of the Drug Prevention Power Hour, and we will see you next Monday for another episode.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Drug Prevention Power Hour podcast. If you love the show, make sure to leave a review and share what you've learned. And if you need help reducing substance use among youth by educating and engaging students in prevention, visit vive18.com for more information, tools, and resources.